there you go.
Hey guys, I just came back from another Memphis top 8. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I know this video is a little bit late, but you know, family takes priority over card games. So anyways, I made 5th place again for the 3rd time in a row, which is kind of upsetting. I wanted to bring home a win for you guys, but you know, 5th place 3 times in a row is pretty consistent. It's pretty good. This time was out of 1,000 players, so I'm pretty happy with my accomplishment. Well, anyway, just wanted to show you guys the deck that made it all happen. So first I want to start off with the Pokemon. I played Lycanroc Zoroark deck. You know, this deck is extremely powerful. It's probably the best deck in format by far. Its worst matchups are probably Gardevoir and Vikabulu, but even those don't have a chance against it because of how crazy consistent it is in this format. So the most important card in this deck is Zoroark because of the its trade ability. It just lets you constantly draw cards. Things like N to 1 doesn't matter. Things like basically anything doesn't matter because you can draw your whole deck. As long as you have cards in your deck and outs to win, you will probably get it because this deck is so strong. And then the other strength of the deck is the Lycanroc because of its Bloodthirsty Eyes ability. The Bloodthirsty Eyes ability, you know, is basically a free Lysander for the turn when you evolve it. And that makes it really strong. You know, just being able to play 2 supporters. So early games you can take out their support Pokemon that they need to set up, like the Octilleries or any babies that they need to evolve into. So usually, like against the mirror, I would try to kill the Rockruffs first because not only does it hit your Zoroarks for weakness, but it is it is one of the more important cards of the deck. I would kill, you know, Remoraid super early with Bloodthirsty Eyes. I played the Genesect Venusaur deck, and I would kill Bulbasaur's turn 1 with Bloodthirsty Eyes. So, you know, this combination is incredibly strong. Back to the Pokemon. The rest of the Pokemon are pretty basic. Play 2 Lele's. You don't really want to play Lele that much, but you want to have an out to it, just so you can have your turn 1 supporter. The baby Zoroark is pretty good because it hits for 160 if they have a full bench, and so 160, and then if you have a Choice Band plus a Kukui over here, that equals 210, and the 210 is, you know, what the opponent's is just the magic number of this format. So and then Giratina was for Greninja, but it didn't hit any, and it started it a bunch. Mewtwo is for Buzzwole, which is actually below it because it hits Buzzwole for weakness. Buzzwole can be pretty devastating if your opponent starts it and is able to you know, use elixirs to build it up quickly, which is also why we play it, because we play fighting energies, so why not? I used it in the mirror a lot to just suppress your opponents with you know, the Jet Punch and build up a lot of damage on their field, so you just take a bunch of easy knockouts. So from there, I want to talk about the supporter line. So 4N is the most important. We play 4N and only 2 Sycamores, which is pretty unusual, and the reason why you do this is because you don't want to discard too many things. Trade already discards things, so you're already thinning out your deck. The Sycamore is really only there for thinning out your deck. So if we don't need to do that anymore, then you know, you need that less. So N was our supporter of choice because you just want to shuffle your deck back in. Also, it lets you stop yourself from decking yourself out. So the next card is Bridget. Bridget just lets you get 3 basics. You know, usually I grab 2 Zoruas or Rockruff, depending on what I start. But you want to get as many Zoroarks in play as possible, as early as possible. You only really want 1 Rockruff in play because you want to use Bloodthirsty Eyes early, and then if you need it later, you can start setting it up later when you have bigger threats on the field. The next card is Kukui. You know, it just adds 20 damage unless you draw 2 cards. The draw 2 cards is nice, but the 20 damage is what you really want, and because you already have so much draw support on your field already, the Kukui is perfectly fine to use. It won me a lot of games. Basically, with the Choice Band and full bench, you can hit 170 on a Tapu Lele after Bloodthirsty Eyesing it up. You know, just take 2 prizes. It's the new shame. So the other supporters are Guzma, Acerola, and Mallow. So Mallow lets you it's just in-game consistency. It just lets you put whatever 2 cards you want on top of your deck, and you can trade for it. So, you know, usually I would put 2 puzzles, or an Ultra Ball puzzle, or something like that, just to have it. I mean, it can save you early game too if you need like a Lycanroc and an energy to win the game, something like that. I only play one Guzma, and I know it seems weird, but because you have Bloodthirsty Eyes, you really don't need Guzma that much, and we don't really switch out that often, so it's not really that big of a deal. And then Acerola just saves you, you know, if you have a heavily damaged Pokemon on the field, you just is prize denial, so it makes the game last a little longer. So next I want to talk about the item cards, the rest of the item cards. 4 puzzles at a time. I mean, when you're drawing your like half your deck every turn, you're going to hit 2 puzzles in a row, and then you can just grab whatever you want from your deck, or I mean from your discard pile. It's really useful. Even if you only have 1 in your hand, you can use it to, you know, rearrange the top 3 cards in your deck to make sure that you, if you're overextending, getting exactly what you need. 4 Ultra Ball, that's just overall in-game consistency. It's just unparalleled in this game. 4 Ultra Balls will always be a standard, I think, in this game because of it giving you access to Lele and everything else. For the tools, I did 2-2, you know, 2 Floatstone, 2 Choice Band. You don't really need the Choice Band too much, but I felt that it helped a lot. I mean, it helps with numbers. So like, if you're using Dangerous Rogue on Lycanroc, it just destroys. If your opponent has 4 on the bench and you're playing against Guardy, it lets you. If you have the Choice Band, it lets you hit 230, and that just is enough to seal the game. And then the Floatstones are just obviously useful just for basic mobility. The next things I want to talk about were the Escape Rope. You know, it just lets you switch out your Pokemon so that you can actually, it's actually really good in conjunction with multi-switch because it lets you trade your active out of the active spot, and then you could put your new active into the active spot, and then put the energy that used to be there on the weakened active onto the active, the new active, so that, you know, you can use anything from, like, you know, just Riotous Beating, or, you know, Claw Slash and Dangerous Rogue are both 2 attachment attacks, so, you know, having a free attachment that you already had just going to the active is really useful. Enhanced Hammer is really good, especially in the mirror. I think it won me a ton of games too. I don't know if I would play 2 because it's not useful in every match because you usually want to kill your opponent, but it is really good if you are, you know, knocking out an active and then killing a threat that they already built on the bench by enhanced hammering them, and makes them have to extend even further. And then the more controversial card in the deck is the Reverse Valley. It gives +10 to your dark Pokemon, and it actually helped me a lot. It helped me hit 130 against that Shining Genesect and that Venusaur Genesect deck. I played against like 7 Tapu Bulu throughout the course of 2 days, and it let me hit 180 with a Kukui and a Choice Band and a full bench with Zoroark. Even I was actually like drawing really poorly one time, and I Bloodthirsty Eyes up in Octillery and hit 90 with only a bench of only 3. So, you know, it was good. It's just always good to just have more damage options. It's just great. Now the last part of the deck is just the basic energies. Or the energies, you know. I played a 3-2 split. I played 3 strong. Strong is great because it gives you +20 damage on your fighting guys. And then the regular fighting are there to prevent you from being murdered by Enhanced Hammer. It's just good insurance against it. And then the DC are what the cost is for Riotous Beating, Energy Drive, Mewtwo's Attack, which is Psychic, Mind Jack. It's just DC all around. So DC is the best card in the deck. I don't really have much else to say. I'm really happy with my experience. I would like to give a shout out to Ryan Allred, you know, a fellow PPG member, for helping me build this deck, and James Miller, who also did a lot of work on helping me build this deck. Actually, he did most of the grunt work. He convinced us to play it because it is absolutely the best deck in the format right now. I mean, it got what, 4 out of the top 8 slots, and then it was most of top 32. It's an incredible deck. So if you're, you know, picking up some standard League Cups pretty soon, I would suggest either playing this deck or playing something that heavily beats it, because it is unparalleled in this format. Thanks for watching.